And if you're not hungry, and if you're not ambitious, and if you're not fast-paced, then Dubai is not for you.
Hamid Al Ali is a Dubai-based content strategist, podcast host, and government media presenter.
He's here to show us how personal branding, strategic communication, and smart business setup can unlock influence, safety, and success in one of the world's fastest moving cities.
Attention is like the new money currency. Every single month, I kid you not, I would have a viral video that was happening. 1 million views to 2 million to 3 million.
And I realized, okay, not everyone says everything. It's also a lot of people are watching, and the things that you do are very important.
You think Donald Trump got to be a president today without his brand? You better like and subscribe right now, because you're missing out on a lot of different information that could be truly valuable and change your life.
Welcome to the show. Hamid, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine being here with you as being the host for this podcast.
You know, there are some things I like about you, but what I absolutely love about you is that you are promoting Dubai in the best way possible. I like your social media presence, and you putting out a very clear image for people that are looking at Dubai. I really like your content, and apart from that, we wanted to know more about you and what drives you, today. And before we go to all of it, I want to start by telling you that was there a time in your childhood where you realized how powerful words could be before social media? And what did you learn there that later helped you become the public speaker that you are today?
You know, interesting enough, public speaking was never my choice, per se. I never wanted to be a speaker when I was a young kid. My thoughts of being a young kid, I had aspiring dream of being a policeman or being a fighter or even being a football player, like any kid would usually dream about. It was never about actually becoming a speaker or even talking on behalf of numerous entities that I represent in certain ways today. I think this has happened because of my dad. My dad played a huge role in my life, which I have so much to thank for. He has been putting the message over and over again inside my head to say, Hamid, you are more than what you're trying to become. Every day he would tell me, Hamid, you should read a book. I'm like, why should I read a book? I'm just going to play video games. I'm just going to enjoy life, and that's it. It's like, no, you should really read and learn and gain the knowledge, because knowledge is power.
Such a wise father.
Yeah. So you always tell me, Hamid, you should go out there, try everything. Don't waste it. Any opportunity that comes, accept it. Don't let your ego reject any opportunity that comes later and saying that this is below me, or this is not my level, I'm not there yet. No. If an opportunity knocks on your door, be sure that this opportunity is meant for you.
So when did you figure that out?
That speaking is my thing? Well, it came back again to my dad. I was in 2019. I just graduated from Pennsylvania, Penn State University. I was studying overseas. I was doing my bachelor and my master's degree in engineering. And my life was, at that point, was chosen to be an engineer and just continue on from there.
They say engineers are the smartest people, Elon Musk says, so I'm just...
Are you an engineer yourself?
No, not. Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
But I really respect an engineer. And, go ahead. What happens after?
So 2019, I come back here, I apply for 2 places. I apply for one that's regarding a space entity, and then another one that's a utility. And between those two, I got accepted to the utility sector. In that case, I was an engineer focusing on the innovation part.
Is that what you wanted?
That's what life gave to me. So it was an opportunity that was given to me, and then I took it. And innovation was part of that. So I got to learn a lot about robotics, about drones, about AI. I'm still in that field, thankfully. But during COVID time, I was also in the military. I joined the military for, the national service that we had. And the COVID time happened where everything was paused. It was just set a pause. They told us to go back to home for the lockdown. It was during that time my dad told me, Hamid, you should not waste your time just sitting at home. You should do something with it. And I think you should go out and record videos talking about the COVID situation.
Back in 2019.
beginning of 2020, March.
Yeah.
I remember, I still remember March 14, 2020. It was like the sign of the lockdown. I just finished from Abu Dhabi, everything else. Abu Dhabi had more stricter lockdown was going to come
Yeah.
up. I just finished from there, coming to Dubai. Everything now was set in motion. It's going to get locked down. You never feel something's right. Like usually when you're in your comfort zone, everything that you do in your comfort zone feel comfortable. But if you get out of the comfort zone, that's when you're truly challenged. Looking at the camera right now, I just can look at it and I can speak all day and just give everything that I need to give in terms of information. But now
Back to
getting
that time,
back,
yeah. How did you put a camera in front of you? Say you bought that from Dubai Mall. It's in
yeah.
front of you. How did you put it and press play or record and
I looked at, I still have the video where I'm talking about COVID and that time. I think I was inspired by some of the people that were creating content that time. Gary V, I'm sure you heard about. There was someone else. There were multiple influencers that were at that time. They were just at the high peak of social media, and they were not the usual influencers that you see like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, but there were different influencers that were more motivational, like Les Brown and all those type of people, the motivational speakers.
yeah.
Tony Robbins, for example. But he was a big inspiration in how I'm able to speak today. I've actually attended one of his seminars back in the United States. It was
Nice.
the Unleash the Power Within. Of course, that was also with the recommendation of my dad. He was the one guiding me throughout the way. So coming back, shooting my first video, I remember I had that struggle. Looking at the camera, I will look at the camera and I will sometimes struggle what to say. I'll struggle how to even say it. There's a way you can pronounce words that can have a different meanings. The volume, the tone, how you speak. You could speak loud or you could speak low. So these things just came with practice. The more I tried to practice and do this consistently, it just became more of an ease. And I would tell you, this did not happen overnight. 2 years, I was doing content by myself. I
Were you
had
publishing and like doing it
Yes,
and
I was
publishing?
publishing 2 years straight. I was publishing by myself, creating the content, editing out, shooting it, everything from
By
A to
yourself?
Z. Yes, A to Z.
Everything you learned on YouTube.
I learned everything from YouTube and courses, pretty much, yeah.
And did you buy the Tony Robbins course as well, or just did the seminar?
No, I just did the seminar. That's
Okay.
the only thing. Maybe I would read a lot of books that were during that time, but that was before the media work. I used to read a lot of books until the point I feel like every book was giving the same message. The message was it's all about your mindset and all about taking action. I think from those self-help books, if you got those two right, you're pretty
Right.
much set forward. So based on that, 2 years I've been doing it straight with the media content, learning everything that I could potentially learn. Where someday I was approached by a government entity in Emirates Towers
Here in Dubai.
here in Dubai.
And this was 2 years after 2020, so 2022.
Approximately by the end of 2022. They approached me and they said, Hamid, we want you to try out for a new channel that's going to be in English, not in Arabic. I'm like, okay, why not? But my dad told me there's a door opens and an opportunity comes, you take the opportunity. So there we go. I took the opportunity. I didn't ask about the salary. I didn't ask about the income. I didn't ask about how much the rate they will pay me. But hey, if it's an opportunity, I'm going to take it. And so I did. I remember taking that opportunity where it's now called UAE.nation.en. I don't know if you heard about it. But at that time, it was very popular in 2022 until 2024.
What made it so popular?
Well, one of them is me. I remember every single month, I would have a viral video coming from it. A viral video for me was like reaching from 1 million views to 2 million to 3 million. And every single month, I kid you not, I would have a viral video that was happening. Just like every single month. And to the point that like people, from the lower communities, the laborers, everyone, they will start noticing, hey, you're the guy who actually appears in my TikTok, or you're the guy who appears in my Instagram.
How does that make you feel?
I'm glad. I'm glad that they're getting the information that they need. It's not more so about the fame. I never really cared about the fame. For me, even now to this day, I more so think of my content as a business and as a way to add value to people's lives.
One time I was, I run a podcast and once I had a guest on the podcast, and the guest had said something. I had watched the long form, and they had cut it up into reels. The reel went out, and I got a call from my friend who works in the government, and he said, he just asked me about a reel, and I just paid attention to it, and I realized, okay, that from a city that not everyone says everything, it's also a lot of people are watching, and the things that you do are very important because people remember the things that you say.
Mm.
And that makes me think, it's not out of fear, it's out of a person being cautious and careful and showing himself in the best possible way. And that way, because the things people say, they always get remembered.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go back to that time, and ask you, did you ever have a similar time where you posted something and then you realized a few minutes later, or you got information that what you posted crossed the line? And how do you manage that image? How do you manage to be just at the line?
I'll always say, don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about things that will be very, very controversial. Like you're talking about something that is very sensitive topic. That's for me. I usually try to, as much as possible, bring a positive image to the city of Dubai. And if anyone thinks of it in a negative perspective, give them another perspective. How could this be positive? And I always say the people of this country know what they're doing. The leaders of our country, they see the vision beyond what we see. So it's not for us to judge or to say anything that is bad. Well, we trust more than anyone else. We trust our leaders. We trust our people because we
But
know they.
you were on a podcast. No one, as a guest, for example, said something on your podcast, and you thought, I might not be able to publish this, or like, how do you deal with something like that?
Mm. It
'Cause you're
really
on the
depends on the
Dubai cast,
questions
which
that you ask,
it,
right?
right. But sometimes a guest will say something that's, you can't also control what people say. But then, how did it ever happen to you that you published something and then realized, no, I shouldn't have published it, or you were always on point with the publishing?
I mean, with a podcast, I never really had much of issues except one time. That one time, I would rather just protect that person from getting into trouble. It's not more so what I would say, it's more so what the guest says. So instead of putting them in trouble, I'd rather just edit it
So you
out.
saw it like that. I'll just
Yeah.
protect the image of the guest.
More so, I care about him because he's in my show. And my
Exactly.
show, I would love for everyone to enjoy it. That's the most important part.
So you're saying as long as you keep politics and religion out of your podcast or out of any kind of media, a person, a CEO of a company shouldn't have a problem going and putting himself out there, right?
Unless he's from a government official. You'd never go about talking on behalf of a government unless you're approved, right?
Exactly.
There are laws and regulations you have to follow by. And if you're working as an employee for a government entity, then I'm sure you have to get approval from them before ever appearing in any part of interviews, not only necessarily podcasts, but also TV, also a social media campaign. For
Great
sure.
answer. You're one of the most intentional podcasters I know. You actually run your episodes in a very great fashion. You start, and the breakdown is always the same with all of them. I like that journey that you take them down. And I want to know for you, Hamid, how do you see podcasting? Do you see it as the final destination, or do you see it as a stepping stone for you to get to another place? And what is that place for you?
You mean my podcast in general?
Yeah.
My podcast is basically about having people see the successful stories of Dubai. I wanted to see them, even if it's on my expense. I'm not getting sponsorship or anything from this. Literally, my podcast is all expense. It's never any profit or revenue getting from it. But more so, I also learn new things. Believe me, I learn from every podcast session that I'm with. It's like having a secret way of networking with people more than anywhere else. That's the easiest way you can network with people. I can literally never see myself that I can get access to a certain CEO other than through a podcast.
So you invite them to the podcast.
Yes, where I add value to them. I'm sharing media exposure to them. At the same time, they share their valuable information, not only from me, but also for the audience that are willing to listen.
And don't discount yourself. If you're sitting with smart people on your show, it's going to rub off on you as well, right?
Exactly. Trust me, every time I'm learning something new, I'm like, oh, wow, I should do this for myself as well.
Yeah, so you're saying documenting and publishing everything that you learn along the way.
It's like I'm learning and I'm sharing with the public. You see what I mean? I'm learning with these people, and they're also getting value from getting the exposure for their businesses or for themselves as well as a personal brand. Because personal branding right now is so powerful. Attention is like oil. Attention is like the new money currency. If you got attention, you got money.
And so are you still doing the content by yourself, or do you have like a
No,
team?
now I have editors, I have videographers, and I have script writers. So with all that in mind, I don't know how I used to do what I used to do before, you know? No, like if you told me that I still have to do by myself, I would suffer a lot. I'll burn out.
They say necessity is the mother of all invention.
Mm,
So when you have to, it probably taught you a lot about life as well.
true.
Cramping.
But it also taught me about each one of people's role that are within my team right now. I know exactly how I can communicate with them. I know what is possible, what is not possible. So my editor, for example, says this is not possible. I'm like, no, you're wrong. This is possible. I've done it. I know. So I tell him that, and then I tell him to go figure it out, do it again, and then he does it again, and then so it seems possible. You know how to do it.
So you're saying that person that today is going in to study to become a lawyer, goes to university.
They should definitely have their personal brand.
When should they start?
Start from the get-go, from the university.
Okay, I'm in university. I'm 17 years old. My
Mhm.
first year of university. I don't know what I'm going to say and who am I going to talk to?
Self-document your journey. Don't talk about anything else. Say, hey, my name is Ibrahim. I'm just right now in university in the Colorado, or I'm in university in Mohammed bin Zayed University. I'm learning about law right now, and this is my journey. Every day I wake up, I go this and that, and just continue your way. Today I learned about a certain law that happened today, and it's interesting. This law has just came into effect, and this is what it is. I'm
And
learning.
you got your own camera, your own equipment, everything.
Just self-document. These days it's very easy to self-document. There's a lot of cameras specifically made for self-vlogging, or specifically made for just stationary places where you place it. And even if you don't have time for that, let's say you don't want to do it, you can go to multiple studios across the city of Dubai and Abu Dhabi and other places. You can sit down for 1 hour, record 10 videos, and that's it. You have 10 videos for the next 3-4 weeks. That's it, ready. You can shoot. I
And
mean,
that
they will help you with the
documenting-
edits and everything.
How does that help you get what you want later in your life then?
Because you're building a brand in a way, let's say that when you eventually do graduate from somewhere, having that following, especially if you want a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a dentist, these can be potentially your clients in the future in those specific fields. Now, as an engineer, I'm not sure, maybe you'll turn something into a business. You might have a product, you might have a service.
Maybe you become Elon Musk.
There you go. You never know. You have one of those followers, just their fans. They like you. They like what you're doing. They want to invest in what you do. They could be a potential investor.
That's a very
You never know. So that's why I always say personal branding will be the main factor of today's world. With AI coming in and taking everyone's jobs, let's be real. There'll be a lot of jobs to be replaced with AI. But what amazes you and differentiates you between everyone else is if you have a personal brand and if you're the type of guy that knows how to leverage the AI that exists today.
Such a different way a traditional businessman would look at value. I know the bank definitely doesn't see it like value. They have something called a balance sheet, which is numbers and a few X and O's. I'm definitely with you on the personal brand. And I see people around me trying to do their own podcast. I just always wonder why they don't just sponsor a podcast. On a personal brand, I think everyone should have their podcast.
I think this region is yet to mature when it comes to podcasting compared to the other parts of the world. It's starting now. You see a lot of different podcasts coming up here and there. But it's yet still, I feel it's in an infancy compared to other places,
And you think it's going to keep going?
depending on who goes the longest.
who goes the longest. That's
I
interesting.
feel
Yeah.
so, I feel that is the thing. It's a long, long game.
I see a lot of your content, you position Dubai always in a great way, and that's what I told you I was most excited about when I saw you position your content always to attract towards real estate investment or towards visas or company setup. And that is primarily the reason people are coming here, in my opinion. But to that makes me think about you. Do you think that the people coming here are running away from something or coming into something?
A lot of people that usually want to come to Dubai, based on my perspective on what they were commenting, discussing with me through DMs, they're looking for tax advantages, which is the number one. Looking for safety and security, which is number two. Maybe it can be number one for other people as well. Number three is opportunities. A lot of people, they literally come here with nothing and they build themselves out to becoming multi-millionaires. You hear a lot of stories of that, I'm sure. Mostly it's expats, more so than the locals.
You interview these people on your podcast, I've
Yes,
seen.
yes. And they literally come with nothing. And literally, I had a fitness trainer that came here. I mean, he sold his gym and everything. He sold everything. And he came despite having the money, he still acted like he was a broke person. He lived in a partition that is so small, like I don't know, it's like a 200 square feet place that he was living in. And he was like grinding from the very beginning. He got to network with all the potential clients. He built it from the ground up, and now he has like 15 clients every month, training them out.
Like a PT with
Yeah,
clients.
PT training everyone, 15 clients a month, and literally getting a salary of someone who's a senior manager or director right here in Dubai. So he's like started from zero, and now he can get to that, and that's with the tax benefits as well. If you think about it, he doesn't have to pay the same taxes that he will have to pay other countries, where you have to pay from 30 to 50% of their business income.
It always seemed like not a very positive topic that people spoke about. So I know exactly what you mean, and I think that is definitely a big reason that people are coming here. But being so influential and you have thousands of people that follow you, how do you make sure what you say stays in line with, what the government wants? How do you have, like, for example, certain channels that you follow that you get news from that are credible, or what does that process look like for you?
So there are certain news that I usually get credible sources for what I say. And then sometimes if it's something that it's not related to the government, it's just related to the city of Dubai, I talk in the best positive way possible. So if someone is like complaining about the traffic recently, I'm like, well, you're complaining about the traffic, but do you know what the Dubai is actually doing about the traffic? They're setting up the roads in terms of improving bridges, tunnels, intersections. You're talking about flying taxis being available in 2026. You're talking about driverless taxis also being available. You're talking about the Dubai Loop, which is something that is being associated with Elon Musk's Hyperloop, where they're going to establish that as well in the city of Dubai. Now, those sources, they come officially from credible sources that I look for. And then I back it up. It's like literally I'm debating with people who are saying that, as you know, there's so much traffic happening here. Sure, but Dubai is always working with those challenges. If there's a challenge today, they'll work on it today, not someday. I always say.
Yeah, that for me, honestly, I sometimes travel to another place and then you see a tower. I don't want to bring up the name of the country, but a lot of Emiratis go to it. And I go there 2 years later and the same tower is not finished. And when I look at that and I tell someone there, they say it's completely normal. But when you come to Dubai, nothing stays in the same place for 2 years. You might find a new shop down your street. You might find, a new mall. You might have missed a lot of developments. You might miss actually the flying taxi that you're talking about. So if I'm going to look just at the past on data, I'm going to say Dubai, they set a goal and they achieve it, and if they don't, they're always, the way I see it, based on the past, is that there's no reason to believe that all the things that they're working towards finding a challenge for doesn't achieve. I always think, just look at the past record, and we're, even as a country, I see them very open to learning. So for me, I think it's really great what you do. You go and basically point out the good parts so people are aware about the different initiatives that are being run by the government and how it can impact people. That's definitely, uh, you know, for that person that's watching this, okay, that's thinking like a CEO or like a senior manager in a company. What is the ROI of me putting myself out there and having a personal brand? Why, what if I do that and I say the wrong thing and it lands me in trouble? What is your advice for that person?
If you say the wrong thing, maybe you're doing something wrong, right? So I made a video once about the rules of posting in social media. So, of course, this comes from credible sources where I see, okay, the guidelines of what should be posted and what should be not posted. I'm saying, like, there's similar code also from Mike Tyson. He says, if you have something bad to say, don't say it at all. So I always talk about that and I keep that in mind. If it's something bad that I'm talking about, I'm not going to publicly say it. And maybe even not even privately say it. It's better to just talk about the good things because if you're always focused on the bad things, your mind will just continuously focus on finding the faults in everything that you do in life. But if you switch your mind to finding the good things in everything in life, then everything is going to be good that you're going to speak about.
Definitely very positive outlook in the way you see things. I think with this, positivity, even the challenge, you see it like something that you can overcome. So I think definitely, so you're saying basically you shouldn't be scared to put your brand out there and to come and to speak in front of a camera because in the end of the day, if you're not saying anything bad, it's okay. You're not hurting anyone. You're promoting yourself or you're speaking about the things that you enjoy doing. I always see it as a person needs to think about his personal brand as super important. I used to see personal brand as very far away from business, but the longer I study about business stories and business people, I find out that a person that does well usually can say a good story. And it starts with their story.
I mean, anyone that says basically personal branding is not important. I mean, look at right now what's happening. You think Donald Trump got it to be a president today without his brand? Do you think Elon Musk got to get all those investors to hook up in his latest initiatives or latest company grabbing like X platform without his personal brand? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is not trying to build his personal brand right now? Jeff Bezos? Every one of them is trying to build their personal brand because they know that personal brand has attention. And that attention is power, and that power brings more money. That's what it is.
I've noticed, Jeff Bezos has the Washington Post.
Mm-hmm.
All of these big guys kind of own a media or news agency.
Yes.
Why do you think it is so? And how do they use it to increase their personal brand?
It goes back to attention again. They can grab specific audiences with their attention and shift their mindset to something that they want to benefit from. So it's all about the agenda of having people grabbing their attention. So if someone reads the Washington Post, imagine how many audiences are reading it on a daily basis that I can shift their mind to something specific. So already got their attention. That's a currency. That's what I'm saying. Attention is the currency of the day. And so many people, I don't know if you heard of Ashton Hall. I don't know if you've been watching his Instagram. You see this fitness trainer. He's been running fast. He's jacked up.
Yeah.
But he does that video every single day. And he shows his morning routine, if you've seen that as well. He's grabbing that attention, not just for the sake of like, hey, I'm just going to show off my morning routine. Uses that attention, shift it to his business, which is about coaching, which is about selling personal training offers, and then generates money from it. So it's not the sake of video of just trying to get the views, but more so using those views, leverage it, and shift it to the business.
All right. Now we're moving to the rapid fire round. You can answer in one word or one line.
Okay.
And more if you really want to. What's one thing that you said publicly that quietly closed doors?
Close the door is a very hard question. I don't know what I said, what I would say publicly.
What is a topic you intentionally avoid?
Politics. I never liked politics. No.
Does English or Arabic content build trust faster?
Doesn't matter.
It's about the person you're saying. What's the smartest unspoken business rule in the UAE?
Never undervalue yourself.
Interesting. What do people still misunderstand about Dubai?
That everyone, especially a local, is rich.
It's a big stereotype.
Yes, they think every local drives a Ferrari or Lamborghini, which is not the case. I'm driving a Tesla, by the way, right now at this time. You never know in the future.
This podcast is not sponsored by Elon Musk or Tesla. Otherwise, I would say I drive a Tesla too, but I do. If someone was looking to move to Dubai, what is, something that you can tell them, a trap that they can avoid?
What do you mean?
Someone's trying to come to Dubai. What is something that they should know before they come to Dubai to not fall into a trap?
Get in a call with me and definitely get in my consultation for sure. That's for sure. I will help them with the setup of the business, their setup of the visas, their setup even finding the right property for themselves. Now, what I say always for anyone that is coming to Dubai, always come as a tourist first. Get to experience it. See for 2 weeks, have it settled that you're going to come to Dubai, explore every possible way, every places, not only just in JPR, not only just in Dubai Marina, not only just in Dubai downtown.
Move around.
Move around. See the places across. Get to know if this is the right place for you. Get to learn as much as you can about different cultures, about different communities, about different places in the city. Because it might not be for everyone. I always say, and I said that in one video, that Dubai moves whether you're with or without you. It's a fast-paced world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ambitious people. There's a lot of hungry people. And if you're not hungry, and if you're not ambitious, and if you're not fast-paced, then Dubai is not for you.
What are the challenges someone would face if they just want to do it on their own, not through a company?
Sure, they can do that. They might have to go through a lot of hurdles until they find a way. But that is possible. But now you're talking about the experience between having someone to hold your hands throughout the journey and make you have as less trouble, mistakes along the way, costly mistakes.
So, what would you say? How do you protect them from these things happening to them?
How do you protect them? From the experience that I've been here with them. So I have every type of way from setting up the business, setting up the visa, finding the property. I have partners that I dealt with that specialize in each sector that can help them and guide them throughout the way. And in my own field, me being an expert in my city of Dubai and a lot of places within the UAE, I can narrow them and guide them and serve in the best interest of the client, not in the best self-interest of this company or of this property agent or whoever that is.
Hamid, I think that there's a certain level of, I respect all nationalities, and I think everyone loves Dubai so much, and they respect Dubai so much that there's almost this invisible wanting to keep things going and to always protect the image of Dubai. And I think working with someone that has been here in a long time definitely adds value and credibility, especially someone from here. I think you're talking about company setup, and you're talking about stuff that is very on the one of the first things you do when you enter. So the most important thing is to transfer that safe feeling.
I want them to thrive. A lot of people might have the base mentality of getting the commissions. I'm thankfully and blessed. I have multiple incomes. This is one way I can help people to thrive while also sustaining my business as well. And if they thrive, it means there's a better reputation for me as well.
And they come back and they buy other services then?
Absolutely. Not necessarily from them, but their friends, their family. I want them to come here and they say, we're glad that we know Hamid. Hamid has made us feel like we're home. Someone is there for us to help us out. Not only in terms of just this business, visa, and property, but also through the lifestyle of Dubai, knowing the best places for them. If they want to know, for example, some of the tricks of using specific credit cards, knowing special memberships that get them to special places, I can help them with that.
That could be a starting point. You say visit it for a bit, and then go and see if you can pace, and then come back with full speed once you know what it's about, and to contact you.
Absolutely. I just say, even before contacting me, visit Dubai, stay for 2 weeks at least, explore everything that it has to offer. Once you know that this is the right place you want to be, then you can either contact me or even go with anyone else for sure. But if they want to contact me, Dubai Catch at Instagram for sure.
Where do they find you?
Dubai Catch at Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Recently, I'm starting out in YouTube as well. And for my podcast, they'll get to look at Dubai Catch podcast for sure. Catch the latest news in Dubai.
It's you create your own kind of it's called the limiting self-belief. I think, I've seen it done to myself. I remember so many times I get to, the final point. It's like a tipping, you just need to push yourself to get over the final point. And at that point, I freeze. One of these times I was running my healthy food startup, and we had got now to the final table, final big boss, where we're sitting with the person that wants to acquire the company. And that person's sitting down, the company that raised $200 million from Citibank, and they now came to the table to make us an offer, and I was from SoftBank. And we were sitting down to make an offer, and I was so excited. I was thinking I was working for 3 years to get to this point. I was so excited that my leg was shaking under the table, and I was hoping that my leg wouldn't, so that the people I was sitting with wouldn't realize that I was so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I always, it makes me think about a lot of the things you were saying, and getting you to a place. Sometimes you have to start by doing everything and reverse engineering it to where you want to be today.
Mm.
But moving today into the future, and if we were to look at Hamid 5 years from now, what would we see?
I want to see myself in a way that if anyone comes to Dubai, they want to know Hamid. They just need to know him.
Amazing.
Yeah, they need to know him, and he's the person who's going to make us thrive in Dubai.
Hamid, if you weren't who you are today, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't what I was today, I still would somehow do something in the business field. I can't see myself working forever as an employee. I don't know. It just felt like that from the very beginning, from the get-go. Maybe because I've been exposed overseas. I've been in the United States, and I've seen like entrepreneurs as young as 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They're all young and they're like flourishing, thriving in their businesses. So I always had in my mind, like, I need to get out of the cycle and build something. And I'm not saying that being an employee is wrong. No. Being an employee is fantastic for those people who are career driven. They want to go in the corporate ladder. And that could be a type of success for them. It's just not something that I've seen for myself. I've seen for myself that I wanted to do something that is business oriented. I see that I thrive. I feel like I'm alive when I do something sort of a business. And my social media is a business in a way. Despite that, I'm still continuing my engineering job. I'm still doing that. And also have my TV presenting. I present in TV as well in one of the local news. So I do that as but that's a part-time. Everything in my media is a part-time thing. While my engineering is a full-time.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm engineer by the day and the media person by the night.
That's a lot of hats to juggle.
Absolutely. But it comes all with time management. A lot of people think they don't have time. I even go to the gym every day.
What time are you the waking up early in the morning to
7:30 in the morning, that's when I start my work. I finish at 3:30, and everything after 3:30 I start doing it regarding media.
Great to have you, Hamid. Thank you again for showing up.
Thank you, Mahmoud. I really appreciate it.
And if there's anything else you have for the audience,
You better like and subscribe right now because you're missing out on a lot of different information that could be truly valuable and change your life. You never know. So subscribe and like.